Do you believe that you can heal yourself? Too often we give our power away to something outside of ourselves, and rarely, if ever, trust and tap into our innate healing power and intuition. Everyone has this capability to heal in ways we never thought possible. It's your sovereign right to claim and have true health and lasting wellness. Now, here is the host of the Dr. Dolores Show, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer.
Well, welcome everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in our wonderful universe. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, and you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And I decided that we needed to really dig deep into self-compassion. So we are going to be talking about self-compassion on the show today. And the title of our show is Rekindling or Rekindle Self-Compassion. You know, for many of us, we are going through a lot of stuff right now. Everybody I run into, you have no idea what they're dealing with. And I think that's just a reminder for where we are in our world. A lot of stuff for people is up right now in their spaces, and there's just a lot of uncertainty and a lot of chaos and a lot of drama because the collective is just, it seems like it just got twisted up a couple of notches, and it's circling even more so. And with that, when we are part of that, a lot of our stuff comes up and we get triggered. I mean, let's face it. And our natural tendency is to be in react mode and judge and criticize. And when we are judging and criticizing, we're just adding to the collective pot. I'm just going to give you a pot twist, a pot, I can't even talk, a plot twist here. You know, maybe there's something different that we can be doing that could maybe assist us to shift that. Are you open to that? Well, let's talk more about that. You know, self-compassion, I consider it, I was in meditation this morning and I meditated on the whole thing about self-compassion, and I do writing meditation sometimes, and what came up was this. Self-compassion is the gift of grace to self. Okay. What we mean by that, it's like we're cutting ourselves some slack because we think that we have to have it perfect. And when it's not perfect, we just go down that rabbit hole of judging and criticizing ad nauseum and just beating the pulp out of ourselves. That's something that a lot of us do, myself included. And we are going to shift that today. I feel that that's an important thing and an important tool that people need to embrace as we go through and march through these very interesting times that we are going through right now. Of course, it's August, and you got a lot of things going on. We got solar flares, we got Lionsgate 88, 2024, which is another 8, so it's 888, 888. And there's just so much happening that it's very easy to get so sucked up in the drama of that. And it's about time that we look at it a little differently. So when we are able to offer ourselves self-compassion, it's like it's a choice that we choose to make, okay? It's about keeping ourselves in the present moment because there's going to be so much stuff that's going to be triggering people. It's going to be like going to the fair, and I use this analogy, playing whack-a-mole. You know, the mole comes up and you have a mallet, and the objective of the game is to hit the mallet every time it comes up. And that's my rendition of what it's like to be in react mode. We are being asked to step up in ways we never thought possible to make these shifts. And some of these shifts are just they're so simplified, but yet they're important. And it's about raising the bar of the frequency. Okay. When we are in react mode, we naturally are judging and criticizing. And let me tell you, that is like the norm in our society. Everybody's judging and criticizing and projecting and whatever. It's like this cosmic cesspool of lower vibration stuff that is influencing and contributing to a lot of people's angst, yet they aren't aware of it. And that's like a different vibration. It's a lower vibration. When you are able to have self-compassion, it's like raising the bar of frequency where it's above what is happening in your world and you're not an energetic match for it. So if you're feeling like things are coming up in your body or you have that sense that something is off, trust that, but offer just, I'm going to say adapt a mantra that is about self-compassion. Just the word self-compassion. Just it's a reminder when you say it, self-compassion. It's a mantra. This is going to allow your vibration to raise, and whatever is triggering you is going to allow to be dissipated. Now that's a simplified version. What you have to remember too is that there's another part to this. When we are being triggered, okay, you are feeling all these senses in your physical body. Maybe your stomach's hurting, or maybe you have these emotions that are coming up, and I invite you to be with them. And be with them in the way that is not about you taking it on and recreating it. I'm going to invite you to write down what's coming up for you. And I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised when you're writing it out. It's almost like you're experiencing it and it comes to neutrality. It's that simple. Oftentimes we think that we have to stuff it down, make it nice, and put it in a package. And we still keep it within our bodies. We're not getting it out. By writing, you're allowing it to come out of your body, and it's on a piece of paper. So the good thing is that it's there. So whatever is coming up for you, I know I've had some interesting things come up for me in my space, and sometimes we have these somatic responses. So one day I felt a bunch of stuff in my solar plexus. So I just sat with that, because you might start feeling some anxiety. And usually that anxiety or stress is the tip of the iceberg of something deeper within. And a lot of times these are unexperienced emotions that are trapped in your body. And it may be from this lifetime, it may be carry over from previous lifetimes as well, yet it's energy and it's still there. So the big gift in all of this is that when you are able to sit and feel what's going on in your body, and whatever the words are, just write them down, what it feels like. For me, an example, I felt like I was in fear, I was in terror, I was angry, I was feeling taken advantage of. All those things kind of came up to a head. And when I wrote them out, it was almost as if the charge on the emotion dissipated and came to neutrality. Because these are all things that we have stored away over time and place, especially when we've been told not to say anything or not to experience our emotions. We've kind of internalized them. Now that we are more aware of what's going on, we could write these things out. And it's an extension of you as a gateway to relieve yourself of that energetic debris. So just remember this. If you're feeling something in your body, our normal tendency is to react and do something to fix it, right? Let's face it. We don't want to feel pain, yet I'm going to invite you to be curious about it and just take it a step further, meaning that, we want to be able to really, get rid of this and put it to bed finally. It's like we are so over this and done with this. And where we're going, this is not going to be with us. So, do yourself a favor. I highly recommend trying this because it's been very fruitful for me in assisting me moving through what I'm going through personally right now. It's more of a proactive way of doing it, and it's also being able to have self-compassion. As you're writing this and you see what's coming up, just send it self-compassion. It's not about reliving the whole thing. It's about raising the frequency of that as well. Now, I know I kind of bounced around and came full circle, yet I find that it is important to just trust what's coming up and trust your instincts, because your instincts are spot on right now. And maybe you're feeling like they're getting muddied in the water. And when you come to ground zero and just clear out bunches of what is going on for you, you're going to have more real estate in your head. You're going to become more creative. You're going to become more grounded in yourself. You may even change, your appearance may change as well, because energetically things have shifted and moved out. People will notice that you might have this youthful glow to you, or you just feel so grounded, and you're going to be witnessing that in your external life as well, because you're doing the inner work and it's reflecting out and people are seeing that. It's that simple. It's like that big filter of gray that you were living your life through has dissipated and been removed. You're going to sleep better. You're going to be more fully present than you've ever been before, and awake, and becoming more fifth dimensional. Okay. We're at a big precipice right now between the old way of doing things and what's to come. And sometimes when we are in the old way of doing things, we're still hanging on for dear life because it's still that fear modality. It's about having a lot of blind faith and trust. I love this mantra and I'm going to repeat it. And this is one that I use, and I invite you to take it on as yours as well. It's love and self-compassion and trust, and trust and trust. So love and self-compassion and trust and trust. Whenever you're getting triggered or you're feeling like your stuff is in your face and you want to just go down the rabbit hole of react mode and trying to make it look pretty, it's like you have hopped out of your body and your body is wanting to tell you something and you're trying to fix it. There's nothing to fix. It's about moving that trapped energy and having it permanently leave your body, so that you're able to be focused and grounded in the present moment, and just going through like a metamorphosis and a rebirth. Because we are rebirthing ourselves. We're going through massive transformation right now, and many of us will not recognize who we are in another 6 months. And that's a good thing, because when you are working through and moving through your stuff and healing your stuff, this is where the land of miracles happens. And so we're getting ready to go on our first break. I can't believe it, but you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we are talking about rekindling self-compassion. So when we come back, we're going to talk more about this in depth, maybe some tools that you could probably use to assist yourself on that. So see you when we come back.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we are talking about rekindling self-compassion on our show today. And before break, I was sharing about self-compassion and some of the things that we do to beat ourselves up and judge and criticize ourselves within. But many of us are doing that in society. We just automatically go there. And it's really time for that to shift and change, because that is such a low vibrating energy and it continues to contribute to collective consciousness. And we want to shift that. It's about time that we make the world a different place. And we could do that individually ourselves by doing these simple things that I'm sharing with you, because it all starts with self first. Believe it or not, it doesn't start outside of there and then I get better here. No, it starts here and it reflects out to your world. And you'll know things have changed when you're here and you've done the work, that what you're seeing in your world is different, even by the experiences you're attracting into your life as well. It's that simple. So like I was saying before, I went into meditation this morning and I'm writing meditation and I got some good gold nuggets. So I'm going to just read from my notes right now. We talked about self-compassion is the gift of grace to self. It is a choice that we choose to make. It's allowing for the imperfections of being human. Okay, many of us are perfectionists and think everything is got to be perfect. Well, that's a newsflash illusion, because it's not. And it's about being fully present in the moment. It's about acceptance as to what is without judgment or criticism. That's just part of it, because our natural tendency is we want to judge and criticize why this was bad and try to figure it out, and we just go down that rabbit hole of react. Don't want to do that. Self-compassion opens the door to more peace, serenity, and balance in your life. It is higher vibrating and a higher frequency. So those are from my notes today, and I think those are pretty accurate as far as, what self-compassion is. Now, let's talk about what self-compassion is not. Okay, so we could clarify what it's not. And what it's not is beating yourself up, making yourself wrong, calling yourself, not so nice names. We've talked about this before on other episodes on the Dr. Dolores Show, but I think it's important to reiterate this as well. We are a vessel of water. Believe it or not, our body is comprised of at least 75% water, give or take, a percent point. And when we are judging and criticizing ourselves, this is our self-talk, this is the internal dialogue that we have with ourselves, we are labeling that vessel of water with that. Now, we know from the work of Dr. Masaru Emoto, who passed away probably about 8 years ago. He studied water. He was a Japanese scientist, and he would label vessels of water with words like love, peace, or hate and war, and everything else in between. And he would freeze those vessels of water that were labeled and look at the crystalline structure underneath a microscope. Of course, the ones that were labeled peace or love were these beautiful symmetrical crystalline formations. And of course, the ones that were labeled I hate you, war, anything else that is low vibrating frequency, the crystalline formations never formed. They were actually fragmented and also like black blobs. So with that in mind, labeling with positivity or low vibrating, high vibrating or low vibrating or negative words as we label them here on Earth. When we say those things to ourselves, what do you think that's doing to your body's fluid and your body's chemistry? The water in your body is all intertwined with every organ system and everything within you, and it's actually creating, I want to say, damage to your body. And why would you want to do that? It's just like, my gosh, these are just subtle things that we know, but maybe there's no way to evidence-base that, but we know what we know. So I invite you to please be mindful and aware. That's one of the things that you could do. So self-compassion is, what is not self-compassion is labeling yourself and calling yourself not nice names and judging and criticizing yourself and beating yourself up. That is not self-compassion. Another thing that is not self-compassion is not making the right choices for yourself, or not trusting yourself and beating yourself up for mistakes that you have made and not forgiving yourself. That's not self-compassion. So with that in mind, just rekindling self-compassion is about, it's a journey, okay? It's not a one and done. A lot of us are looking for the quick fix and want the bypass in order not to deal with what's going on a deeper level. And yet, if the gold nuggets are in the deeper layers and the deeper work that we do. It's about liberating all those trapped emotions, those beliefs that are no longer serving us, but still unconsciously running the show. And it's about us releasing them. And maybe some of us are going through some ancestral stuff that comes from generation after generation. And you have to remember that sometimes the ancestral stuff is not your stuff to fix, even though maybe we have unconsciously taken it on as our mission to do so. It's about allowing it to be there and realizing its proper place and redirecting it to go back to where it needs to go. And just handing it back over to your ancestors and saying, thank you for showing me this. I've learned great nuggets from that, or learned a lot about myself, but it is not mine to fix. So I'm handing it back over to you so you could fix it for yourself. So sometimes just in that is enough of a power flip that allows you to step more into your power. It's not taking on other people's stuff as your own. This is a boundary. So it's more about setting boundaries as well. That's self-compassion as well, setting boundaries. What is not self-compassion is allowing people to walk all over you and doing, you taking on things that are not yours to fix. You don't want to interfere with people's karma because it's just like maybe, somebody, for those of us who are people pleasers and fixers, I think we automatically want to take on other people's burdens and make them our own so we could fix it for them so they don't have to go through that. I see this a lot when people want to come for healings in response, or healings. They want to have a session for a healing for a family member. And I feel like the most important thing that I could share with them is that, does the family member know you're doing this? Number one. Number two, do we have their permission to do so? Because when you are thinking that you have another person's well-being in check, we are interfering sometimes with their karma, because maybe it's part of their soul's growth and mission, and we're taking away their power to answer for themselves and to make their own choices. And so a lot of times I will refuse to do those type of sessions because I would be so out of integrity with myself. That it's about allowing yourself to check in and to ask the right questions, and also to be compassionate with yourself, to know yourself well enough and to give yourself the gift of setting boundaries and sticking with them. And it's okay to say no. And of course, you might get some pushback from that, and that's okay. People will get over that because you're showing up in a different way. You're putting yourself first. You're having self-compassion for yourself. You have to remember that we are circling back to this. Self-compassion is a journey. It's not a destination. So you're going to be learning about this on a daily basis, and just allow it to be part of who you are, the new you. Because self-compassion, I think, is one of those, it's a secret sauce, but it's also a superpower too. Because if you're able to have compassion for yourself, you're going to be able to have compassion for others. It starts with self first. Remember that. And I know that many of us, it's so funny because I've talked to so many people in the last couple of weeks, and it's like so many people are going through so much. And until you really connect with somebody and just say, hey, what's going on? Or even share and be vulnerable about yourself, people will open up and you'll learn some things. And, people are walking around and you have no idea what people are going through, and they're going through immense stuff. So even if you could just have a compassionate heart, and just that self-compassion you're giving to yourself, allow it to flow out from you to other people. So we're going to go on our next break. I can't believe we're halfway through the show already, but we've been talking about rekindling self-compassion. And we're on the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino. Hi. And we're on Inspired Choices Network. So see you on the other side when we come back.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show, and we're on Inspired Choices Network, and we've been talking a lot about rekindling self-compassion. And we, before we went on break, we're talking about what self-compassion is not, and we talked a little bit about labeling our vessel. Our body is at least 75% water, and what we label it sometimes is not very compassionate. So it's about changing the labeling of our container, and sometimes by challenging ourselves to what is there, like saying I'm not worthy or whatever. No, I like to say I'm self-compassion, and you're doing the best job you can, and you're okay, you're going to be fine. And just, it's almost like what you would tell your friends when they're going through a miserable time. It's just like, just giving them a pep talk, but just also just sending them some love and some appreciation and some gratitude. So you heard on the announcements in between the shows are the infomercials, and I just want to share a little bit about that. We launched our I'm Awake Now What community yesterday, and Cozy Stankaitis and I are so excited to be part of that and to host that for you all. And so if you're interested in learning more about that, I invite you to go to my website, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, and you're going to see I'm Awake Now What. Click on that, and that'll take you right to that page and explain more. But I just want to say, if you're like going through a huge ascension process where you have woken up spiritually and the real world doesn't, or the world that we're in just doesn't make any sense to you anymore, this is for you. This is about giving you tools, resources, a live session once a month with recordings, and a community where we could share ideas and support one another. So like I said, go to my website, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, I'm Awake Now What? You'll just click on that and you'll be learning more. And Sarah pipes in here. She said, I found that the last few weeks, just saying the word self-compassion really helps raise the vibration. Thank you, Sarah. Yes, it does. It's that simple. It's about allowing us to experiment with it, if you want to call it that, especially for those of you who are skeptics. Try these things. You might be pleasantly surprised at what comes out of that and how that actually assists you. So like I always like to do on the Dr. Dolores Show is I like to do a guided meditation that allows things. It's more of an experiential process, so it allows what we've talked about and the concept so that you could have an experience with that, and it's recorded so you could go back and listen to that at your leisure. So right now, I'm just going to invite you to get quiet because we're going to do a guided meditation for self-compassion right now, okay? So I just invite you to find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed and just sit comfortably with your back straight and your feet upon the floor and just feel supported. And now I invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. And we're going to begin with a few deep breaths. Inhaling slowly through your nose and exhaling slowly through your mouth. Do that again and just take a few deep breaths, inhaling slowly through your nose and exhaling slowly through your mouth. And just do that one more time. Inhaling slowly through your nose and exhaling slowly through your mouth. And just allow your breathing to return to its normal inhale and exhale patterning. And know that with every inhale that you make and every exhale that you take, you're just going to fall more and more into your physical body. There's really nothing else to do. Just allow yourself to experience that. And as you continue to breathe, I invite you to bring your attention to your body. Notice any sensations that you may have anywhere without judgment, okay? Just allow it to be as it is. No judgment, no criticism, not trying to make it wrong or right. It's just what it is, just allowing it to be as it is. Are there any areas of tension? Are there any places that feel relaxed? Whatever's there, just allow it to be there, okay? It's just what it is. So simply observe your body without trying to change anything. We're just kind of taking an overview. Now, imagine a warm, loving light surrounding you. This light is a symbol of kindness and compassion. So just allow this light to just surround you and just allow it to grow and expand and grow and expand. And just allow this light to envelop you completely, internally, externally, and beyond, filling every part of your body. And in your mind, just bring to mind a situation where you were particularly hard on yourself. The first thing that comes to mind, I would suggest doing that. It may be something recent or something from the past. Allow the memory to surface without judgment. Just allow it to be there. As you recall this memory, imagine placing your hand on your heart and just feel the warmth and tenderness of your touch. And just tell yourself softly, I am human and it's okay to make mistakes. Repeat this phrase silently to yourself, allowing the words to sink in. I am human and it's okay to make mistakes. Remember, everyone experiences challenges and setbacks. You are not alone in this. Imagine a compassionate friend offering you support and understanding. And just let this image fill you with a sense of peace, care, and calm. Now extend this compassion to yourself. Offer yourself the same kindness and understanding that you would have given a friend, or the kindness and understanding that your friend has given you. Take a few moments to simply be with yourself. Allow the feelings of compassion and self-kindness to wash over you. When you're ready, gently bring your attention back to your breath and notice the rise and the fall of your chest with every inhale and exhale that you take. And just feel that warmth around you, that blanket of self-compassion that surrounds you and is within your beingness and in your periphery. Feel the warmth of that blanket and know that you can return to that at any time. As you prepare to open your eyes, bring a sense of peace and self-compassion with you. So slowly open your eyes when you feel ready. And remember, practicing self-compassion is a journey. Be patient with yourself and celebrate small steps forward. Sometimes it just takes baby steps, and it can make a huge difference. And just one more time, focus on your breathing and just take a deep breath in and slowly blow it out and wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes and welcome back. I always love the time after we come back from meditation. It kind of anchors the whole concept of what we've talked about and allows it to ground into reality. So let me know what you think about that. So we're going to be heading on to our last segment, and we're going to go on break right now. But we've been listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, and we're on the Inspired Choices Network, and we're talking about rekindling self-compassion. So stay tuned, and when we come back, we'll wrap it up.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You've been listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, and we're on the Inspired Choices Network. And we've been talking about rekindling self-compassion on our show today. And before break, we were talking about we did a meditation, and I want to know what you guys thought about that. I know for me, when I do these meditations in the segment, there's like a quiet grounding of the information and it lands. So I want to know if that's what you're experiencing as well. Before we wrap it up, I want to talk about next week's show. The title is Upward, Not Onward, Redefining Success. And this is an episode that's about a different way as we move forward into five-dimensional reality. It's not about moving forward, it's moving upward. When we're able to raise our frequency and vibration, we're able to lift it up and move it upward energetically. And this is where we are going to be able to tap into our success. It's not a linear progression anymore, it's an upward. So stay tuned for that next week, because I think you'll really enjoy that show. And, circling back, I just want to talk a little bit more about some core components of self-compassion so you guys have this. Self-kindness. Treat yourself with understanding care rather than harsh criticism and judgment. Too many of us have been programmed that way as a child, and we've been exposed to that, and it's got to stop now. And it actually stops with us making that choice for ourselves and being more compassionate when we want to go down that rabbit hole. Being kind to self. Realize that everybody around you is going through their struggles as well. If you think you're going through struggles, you are, and just amplify that by a multitude, because everybody is going through stuff right now. Bottom line. So be kind and compassionate to others as well. Cut them some slack, give them some grace. Compassion is what we need right now. Self-compassion is for us individually, but compassion in our society. because our natural tendency is to want to judge and criticize and make one person, it's horrible in that collective consciousness stuff. It's about shifting and changing that. Being mindful. Mindfulness is just so important. And it's like being in the present moment. We talked about, if you get triggered or something like that, just write down the list of what it is you're feeling. If it's the words, if it's like anger, rage, or whatever, write it out, because when we write it out, it like pulls it out of our physical body and our energy, and it has a way to dissipate and actually to clarify things in a better way for ourselves. And just be mindful about where you're directing your thoughts and where your thoughts are going. Be aware. When you are in the present moment, you have uber control of your life. It's when you pop out of that, you go into your mind and sometimes you're in reactive mode or indecisiveness or whatever, in confusion mode, if you want to call it that. Take a deep breath, anchor back into your body. We want to make sure that our mind, brain, our heart brain, and our gut brain are all aligned, so they're all playing nicely in the sandbox together. When we are bouncing out and going into our mind, and it's just like this, it's like creating chaos within ourselves. So please just reground yourself, take a deep breath, and stay in your body. Even though you just want to pop out and just try to figure things out or get angry or react, please try something different. Experiment with that. A lot of the things that I tell you are things that I know that I've worked through and have firsthand experience with. So I invite you to try them out like an experiment and see if they fit for you. You might be pleasantly surprised if they do. And for those people who are doubting, sometimes the biggest skeptics are the biggest promoters. So what you're going to find when you're more self-compassionate with yourself, you're going to have more resilience, and your stress management is going to be way more manageable and in control. And you're going to be able to stand in your power. Your self-esteem is going to get better, and your body image, and you're going to be creating stronger relationships, not only with yourself, but with others who are seeing who you are, the newer version of who you are, and want to be part of that. And you're going to have greater life satisfaction as well. So practice self-care, cultivate gratitude, be kind to yourself, challenge your negative self-talk. And I just want to leave you with this saying here. I found that this was so appropriate for what we're going through right now. Your body is a temple. Treat it with kindness and compassion and self-compassion. You are worthy of love and care, and it starts with yourself. So thank you for listening. And if you're interested in the program, I'm Awake Now What? I invite you to go to my website, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, and you'll see in the bar there, I'm Awake Now What? Click on that and you'll be taken to the website that explains everything. Would love to have you. This is a pet project of both Cozy Stantakis and myself. We have co-partnered together to bring possibilities, resources, also insight and emotional healing to people who are going through their ascension journey and their spiritual growth. So check that out. Would love to have you. Our next live event is going to be September 10th. It's a Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. with the details on the website. So be well, be kind to yourself, because you are worth it. Take care now. Here you go.
Thank you for listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. Dr. Dolores returns Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, remember to be kind to yourself and create your best life. You are worth it. Thank you for listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. Dr. Dolores returns Wednesdays at 3 p.m.